Namaste, Jai Bharat. These days I come across youngsters on YouTube especially who are showing interest in understanding Sanatana Dharma. It's interesting. Someone like to call it as understanding spirituality. Someone tries to say that we would like to understand Sanatana Dharma. All this is okay, welcome. But what specifically is that you want to know from Sanatana Dharma? So if someone is approaching me to discuss about Sanatana Dharma, welcome. I'd be gladly discussing. But uh, as a teacher, I would prefer that you talk to me about something which you've read and understood. Other than that, I just can't discuss things with a novice who has absolutely no background of understanding. So it's always better. This is an advice to those who want to understand Sanatana Dharma, those who want to understand Hindu Dharma, those who want to know what spirituality is built in the concept of Sanatana Dharma. It's a long way and lot complicated because it's not simple. That the concepts are not simple. The concepts are complex. That's one thing I can say right now. But things can reveal to you. Things can come unrolling to you, provided you do some fundamental try. Make some attempts to understand, and you have some doubts. Make some attempts to understand either way of reading or watching some YouTubes. Of course, that's what people do these days commonly. Try to understand and get some impulses at least from what you hear, read, or see. Then come for a question session, ask things. Then that would make it easy for you to answer and explain things to you, basing your question, on your question, because here to discuss anything, it's necessary for one to know that what your background in the sense, what are things you think as spirituality, dharma, this thing, that thing. Only when I understand that what are things you think over these things, then it becomes possible for me to unpack the concepts that you have in my way, so that the unpacked concepts can bring a kind of analytical experience to you, breaking things into parts and laying in front of you. And then, of course, I shall try my best to enable you to synthesize what has been analyzed by you and which is displayed in front of you. And when you synthesize things of your own by yourselves, you may get a better picture of a complex concept. This is the only way that you can approach this kind of questions, which are many times totally alien to you. There are a lot of interesting things, a lot of confusions, a lot of doubts. Because you see, the Vedic teaching or the teaching of Vedic suttas are not simple translations or simple explanations. The Vedas have this kind of a dynamism built into the Vedas, that it is ever live and kicking. It's continuously, constantly alive and pulsating with vivacity and strength, in the sense that pick up any suktas of the Vedas and there cannot be an exhaustive interpretation or understanding of it, because each time if you try to unpack a Vedic sukta, it has to be through the time and space. It has to be through the time and space essentially, and also in the context of which individual is wanting what. So these many ingredients are necessary to approach a Vedic concept even before attempting to unpack. So you understand the complexities. For each one, it has to be different. It's interesting to think about a Vedic Acharya trying to discuss Vedic Suktas to, say, 10 students. You try to discuss things to 10 students, and the Acharya shall only be an appropriate Acharya if he is able to give implications. I won't call it as interpretation, because interpretation becomes too huge a term. Implications to student 1 to student 10. Maybe after understanding and evaluating the real mental requirement of the student sitting in front, the a given sukta has to be interpreted to suit his intellectual and emotional requirement from that sukta, and this evaluation the guru has to make, the acharya has to make, and present it to him, which would definitely satisfy and soothe him. And this process can get repeated until the student says, "Yes, now I am understanding." And this has to be repeated through the 10 students in 10 different multiple manners. These 10 different manners for 10 different people. If there are 15 or 20 or 50, it has to be 50 types of understanding implications taken. That efficient the acharya should be. Acharya has to be. Otherwise, he is not an appropriate archetype acharya of as a teacher of Vedas. So these kind of complications are there. And so anyone who's trying to understand Sanatana Dharma, a lot of things I see in the video, that's why I just say, anyone who's trying to understand Sanatana Dharma should make a backup basic reading, an attempt to understand, and one-to-one individually one can come out to discuss. Maybe through Google Meet is not a complicated affair these days. Talk for about 15-20 minutes, then you get another direction, then you move into that direction, and again come and discuss, and then again move into another direction. This, of course, this way one can try to get an understanding of what one wants to know. See, what one wants to know is an important thing, and to what extent what one wants to know is another important thing. So these kind of things can only be done in this manner, not just by reading out alone or hearing talks. Before I conclude, I'll just give an anecdote which really happened in history. It happened in my university where I was teaching. None other than Maharishi Aurobindo was teaching in my university for roughly about 15 years. Because Maharishi Aurobindo's mind is Maharishi Aurobindo's mind. Nothing more I would like to say, or nothing more can be said. Such a serious mind, such a tremendously vibrant mind, wanted to understand Vedas and write about Vedas. Of course, he wanted to understand Vedas, he has understood it much long before in his own manner. Then he thought of writing a book. He started writing and wrote the book, Interpretation of the Vedas. Secret of the Vedas. Secret of the Vedas. He tried to interpret. My God, he didn't complete even the first mandala of the first Veda. It didn't take much time for the genius of Sri Aurobindo to understand that secrets of the Vedas are the methods of the interpretations in a multiple manner, uncountable manner. How can you sum it up into one? So he finally leaves his direction, go to a guru, go to a teacher, learn from him. And there he continues, there he concludes, he doesn't go beyond. It's not that he can't, he didn't want to go beyond. That's very important. So this is the thing, those who want to understand Sanatana Dharma, those who want to understand the spirituality, I don't know, the spirituality is an enigmatic term. What do you mean by spirituality and what is spirituality and what I understand by spirituality could all be entirely varying from one to another. So one wants to understand the experience of Sri Aurobindo should be the guiding principle. So do some work, do some reading, come out with doubts. The best way of understanding is to come out with doubts. So we may meet again with some other thoughts. Till then, Namaste, Jai Bharat and Jai Shri Ram.